In this video, we're going to learn how to detox your life. Now, if you're someone who has any kind of depression, anxiety, lack of energy, you wake up from bed itself completely groggy, you have no energy, you feel like you don't want to wake up, and then you just drag yourself out of bed throughout the rest of the day. And then the rest of the day, you're completely tired, low energy, no motivation, you don't feel like doing anything. If you have that kind of brain fog in your mind, and if you're always nervous about things, all these kind of negative energies, negative things that are dragging your mind and therefore your life down, if you have any of these, then this video is for you. Now, what is detox? Simply put, detox means to reduce that which is inside yourself and then induce it with something else. It's simply that. Reduce all the negative that's inside you and induce it with positive. All the junk food, all the bad things that you consume on a daily basis, we're going to starve it out, we're going to kill it, and then induce healthy things, induce positive things. That's the essential concept of detoxifying yourself. There's this concept of detoxifying poison. How do you detoxify it? You push the poison out and then you push the antivenom in. That's the simple concept. Now, there are three main parts to this. It's first detoxifying the body, then detoxifying the mind, and lastly, detoxifying your environment, your surroundings, detoxifying everything around you. So there are three parts, and we'll go by one. So the first part, detoxifying your body. Now, the main reason you feel very out of energy, you lack motivation, you don't feel like doing anything, the primary cause for majority of people is the food they consume, what they have on a day-to-day basis. That is the majority cause for 99% of people facing these issues. Now, why is that the case? It's because the food they consume is completely junk. It has no natural nutrients. It's unhealthy. It'll increase all the bad cholesterol and it'll block all your arteries and it'll ruin your life. This is the food people consume on a regular basis. With the rise in corporate jobs and all, people don't have time to cook homely food. So they go out, they order pizza, they order something from another restaurant close by. And this happens on a regular basis. Now, what does this do? The food that they consume, this food, it has bad cholesterol, it has bad sugars, it has too much trans fat. Why do people die of heart attacks so frequently nowadays? It's because all their veins and arteries, their blood vessels, it's all clogged with this bad junk food. And that's why, one thing, because it's clogged, they die. But the people who don't die, it's affecting their life drastically. They're out of energy, they're unmotivated, their brains are foggy, they can't operate at that high level, they can't perform, they just tirelessly drag themselves throughout life. This is the problem with the food they consume. And the main thing is that it's processed food. Now, what is the solution to this? It's a two-step solution. First is you must starve the food that is already in your system. You must kill it. You must kill all that junk, unhealthy food and then refill your system with healthy, nutritious food. This is the two-step way you're going to reboot your body. So let's start with step one. How do you starve all this unhealthy junk food? Simple process. It's a process used throughout time. You go back in the day to ancient India or any part of the world where people lived close to nature, you'll see they use the simple process of fasting. And it's not only humans, even animals. When they eat something that their body doesn't cope up with, what do? They starve themselves. And the process of starving is so effective that not only humans, even animals, any organism, it's a natural way for the body to reset. Everything that's clogging the body and the body can't take in, it will completely eliminate from their system. That is why fasting is a natural and very effective way to remove all that unhealthy food from your system. Now, how do you fast? Simple. The people who want to reset their body start with a 12 or 14-hour fast. At night, 9 or 10 o'clock, when you finish eating, don't eat at 11 or 12 o'clock. You're just killing your body. Try to cut down the time. It's best if you can eat before sunset. But to the people who have all these jobs and are giving all these excuses, fine. Eat at around 9 or 10 o'clock, or just basically try to eat as early as possible. Let's consider 10 o'clock. From 10 o'clock at night, after that, don't touch anything. No late night snacking, none of that bullshit. 10 o'clock, stop eating at night. Then complete a full 12-hour cycle. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Continue it for 2 more hours or even 4 more hours until 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And then after a 14-hour or 16-hour period, you can break your fast. This way, by letting your body heal and not stuffing in food before it even digests it, giving it a good enough 12 to 16-hour period, your body will start killing all these unhealthy food that's inside your body. All those cloggings in your arteries and all will slowly start decomposing itself. So this is the first step. Fast for a 12 to 16-hour period. Ideally start from night until the next day afternoon and then break the fast with a light water. Next, the second step of the process. Eliminate all the processed food and consume whole foods. This simple yet effective shift will completely change your life. Like I said before, the problem that most people face with their foods is all the food is processed, all the nutrients are stripped, and it's made in a way only to satisfy your taste buds. Too much sugar, too much salt, unhealthy fats. That's why your body is completely messed up. So, what do? Switch all the processed foods and make it whole foods. Simple. Your protein source, your carb source, your fat source, and your basic vitamin and minerals. These are the only things you keep in mind. For these four things, just get a whole food source. For a carb source, most people nowadays eat noodles, pasta, and this will fill them up. But it's completely processed bullshit that will ruin your body. Cut out that and go for whole food source. Chapati, rice, sweet potatoes. These are beautiful and healthy for your body. Start with that. For protein, eggs, meat, or if you're vegetarian, some kind of veg source of protein. Fats, healthy fats, ghee, or even meat has a lot of good fats. These things are whole foods. And also don't forget to add fruits and vegetables so that you get the right kind of vitamins and minerals to complete the entire nutrition source. Now, this might seem a bit hard in the beginning, completely changing the food that you consume on a regular basis. But anything valuable has never come easy. It is a bit tough in the beginning, but just making this change and creating a habit, you just do it for a couple of weeks, it becomes habitual, and then you don't have to fight it. Your body won't resist it. You'll automatically start liking it. And then your entire life changes. And don't you think it's worth to just go through a tight period of a couple of weeks of change for an entire lifetime of benefit and not getting affected by diseases like diabetes, obesity, cardiac arrest, and just dying all of a sudden because you didn't take care of your health? Don't you think it's worth it? So that is the first thing we've completed, how to detox your body. Now we move on to the second detox, which is detoxing your environment. Now, why do I say this detoxing of environment is important? It's very simple. I'll take a quote to help you understand. We all have heard of this quote. You are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. That's it. You become your environment. What you surround with on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis, is what you become. So I'll tell you 2 simple rules that will help you detox your environment. First, and the most important one, is your friend circle. Your friends or the people who you closely associate with on a regular basis are who you become. Think about it. Aren't your friends just like you? Aren't you just like your friends? Why do you think they're your friends in the first place? Why? Because you vibe with each other, you guys have the same mindsets, you relate with things, your life experiences are the same. Correct? But here's the problem. Majority of people have negative friends who keep pulling them down. People who don't understand how to live a right kind of healthy life. That is the kind of friends that most people associate themselves with. You know why? Because it's very comfortable. They don't have to grow, they don't have to develop. Why? Because growth is a difficult process. They don't want to do that. So they'll catch hold of 3-4 people who are just like them, equally dumb, stupid, and who don't want to change in life, and they'll just be comfortable with them and keep deteriorating in life. So how do you detox your environment? Cut off those friends that are pulling you down, and start associating with people who you want to become, people who you look up to in your school, in your college, in your workplace, in your business, wherever you are, in your gym, wherever you go to. There are people who you look up to, who speak better than you, who are more charismatic, who have a better life than you, who are earning more than you. There are these people around you. Start talking to them, start associating with them, and slowly you will develop that friendship. And you'll notice the moment you start associating with someone who is higher than you will naturally go to that level. The problem with most people is they're associating themselves with someone who's lower than them, and therefore they too get dragged to that level. You, my friends, are the sum of the five people around you. We've all heard this quote, but not enough people actually implement it in their life. No, I'm not saying be rude to your friends and just cut them off. That's not what I'm saying. Whenever they call you, you can just say, "Oh, I'm a bit busy, I have this, that." Whatever it is, don't be rude to them. Be respectful, be decent, but slowly and gradually start avoiding contact. And eventually, they'll get it. They'll get the signal and they'll also stop contacting you. Now, you're not going into isolation. As you cut this, you build another one. This is the only way how growth happens. It's nature's way of growth. Things don't just keep growing. Something has to die for another thing to grow. So, for something beautiful to grow in your life, you must kill that which is pulling you down. It's nature's way. Don't get too emotional or sensitive about it. So, the first thing you need to do to reboot your environment and your surrounding is start by eliminating those negative friends around you. Now, the second thing to reboot your environment is your phone. And why do I say your phone? Why do I bring phone to the topic of environment? It's because your phone is the thing you spend 4, 5, 7, 10 hours every day in. It's literally your environment. It's what you consume content on a daily basis. You watching this video on YouTube, this is through a phone or a laptop. You're consuming this. It becomes a part of your environment. It becomes a part of your daily life. And for many people, what they're consuming through their phone is not positive. It's negative. It's news, it's drama, it's complete bullshit that's pulling their life down. It's all irrelevant information that has no benefit to their life. So let's not get into the harmful effects of overuse of phone. We all know that. All I'm going to say is how you're going to detox yourself from phone usage. Simple. I want you to go to the home screen of your phone and there'll be this widget option. You choose this option called as digital well-being and take that, drag it and put it in your home screen. Now what this will do is it tracks the time you use on your phone. So every time, and put this on your main homepage. So every time you open your phone, you see how many hours you've spent on your phone. If it's the start of the day, after 10 minutes, you just scroll through the phone 10 minutes. When you go back, it'll refresh and it'll show 10 minutes. So many people, they mindlessly scroll through these social media channels without knowing. The moment they go to their home screen, if there's nothing, they'll switch it off. And then later on, after 5 minutes, some notification comes, they'll again go back and they'll start scrolling. But if this tool is there, if this widget is there, the moment they go back to their home screen, they'll see, oh shit, I spent 3 hours. Even I didn't know, it was subconsciously, I was just scrolling through it. Like it gives them a small shock to the system just seeing, oh, 3 hours active use. And this will get into their mind and they'll keep their phone. Next time someone gives them a notification, they'll think about it. Should I take it or not? Okay, let me give it some time. Let me focus on something else. I'll get to it later. Just the small change of being aware of the time that you spend on your phone will make a huge difference. Now, I'm not telling you to cut from 7 hours to like half an hour a day. No, that's not possible. But by doing this, if you're a person on your phone for 7 hours a day, slowly, because of this awareness, even I don't need to tell you, no one needs to tell you, slowly you will start reducing it. You'll go to 5 hours, you'll go to 4 hours, you'll go to 3 hours. You see, naturally, just add this widget to your home screen and you'll see naturally the phone time starts coming down. So this is the second thing you need to do to completely reset your environment. It's just these two things. Start with that and watch the drastic change that happens in your life. Now, the third and the most important thing, rebooting your mind. Now, why do I tell this is the most important thing? It's because everything in your life is controlled by this. Your body is controlled by your mind. Your environment is controlled by your mind. Everything is controlled by your mind. And majority of people do not have control of their mind. And that's why they're failing in their life and not reaching anywhere. So, how are you going to detox your mind? I'm going to give you one simple way, which is the most effective. I can tell you, I can guarantee it because I've implemented it in my life. It is the most effective and natural way to detox your mind. And what is it? It is the scriptures. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, it says the Pancha Indriyangal, which is the five senses. And you know, there's a reference to the five senses as five horses. Consider it this way: you are a charioteer and you have five horses that is taking you to your destination. Now, these five horses represent each of your five senses: your vision, your smell, your taste, your hearing, and your feeling. Each of these horses represent each one of these senses. Now, majority of people in life have no control of their senses, of these sense organs, of the Pancha Indriyangal. Therefore, they are like the person who is on the chariot but has no control of the five white horses. Each one of the horse is just going in different directions. And that is the nature of the horse. It will go on its own direction if it is not controlled. And the person who is unskilled in controlling the horses will eventually lose control of all of them and topple over and die. Now, this is the reality of the people who don't have control of their five senses. Think about it. A person who has no control of their taste buds, what happens to them? They're the ones you see who are always eating something or the other. They have no control. And these are the people who end up with diabetes and obesity, and eventually, in extreme cases, they die. People who have no control over their feeling. These are the people who give in to bodily pleasures. They have no control of it. And therefore, what happens? Their body gets weakened and weakened and weakened, and they start catching different kinds of diseases because their body is weak, and they die eventually. People who have no control over their vision, their eyes, what happens? These are the ones who give in to visual desires. You know, things on the internet, things that are bad for them. They see it, and because they don't have the control of their eyes, they can't push themselves from it. They can't control their eyes. They look at it. They feed into that desire, and therefore they indulge in it and weaken that sense organ. You see, my friends, your five sense organs are your gateway to the world. It's how you perceive the world. And a person who has no control of these five sense organs gives in to the numerous desires that the world has to offer, and they lose control over their life. They become weak and they've lost it. They lose in life. This is the problem with majority of people. Now, it's extremely difficult to control these five senses. You know, it's said the people who have complete mastery of these five senses, they are literally the spiritually enlightened ones. They are the people who have mastered their body, mind, and soul. And a person who can master their senses can control the world. So, how do you do it? Your senses are controlled by your mind. That is why I was saying, to control your mind, it starts with the senses. So let's start again. Your senses are controlled by the mind. Now, how do you control your mind? Your mind is controlled by the intellect. Now, how do you control the intellect? Your intellect is purified and therefore controlled with the help of spiritual knowledge. That's right, the more you consume spiritual knowledge, the truth, the more your intellect gets refined. It slowly starts detaching itself from the materialistic things of the world, and it starts regaining control over the mind. And the mind therefore starts gaining power to control the senses. And once it gets control of the senses, it doesn't indulge in all these kinds of desires that pull itself down. It becomes the charioteer who has all his five horses under control. And when he has it under control, he goes to his destination. He can reach his destination. So that is the importance of controlling your mind. So ultimately, how do you do it? You consume spiritual knowledge. Where does the spiritual knowledge come from? It comes from your holy books. As a Hindu, you start with your Bhagavad Gita. If you're any other religion, go to that holy book. Start with your holy book. I was a person who never read any kind of holy books. I was an atheist. I was a person who didn't believe in God. I was too cool for that. I was completely westernized. I was like, what holy book? It's all a bunch of fairy tale bullshit. That's who I was. Until things happened in my life where I got to a point where I was weak alone. All that westernization, all that coolness, all that atheism, nothing helped me. It was then at that point, at my lowest point, where I was guided. And what guided me? It was the books. The books have the truth. The scriptures have everything you need to live a healthy, prosperous, and righteous life. You start reading the Bhagavad Gita and you'll see the knowledge, the divine wisdom that's in there. You know, the first time I read the Bhagavad Gita was actually when I was too cool for it. I was actually very curious about all the different religions. And then I read the Bhagavad Gita. But guess what? I didn't understand anything. I was like, what the hell is all this knowledge? It was complete bullshit to me. I didn't understand a single word. And then I closed it and I went on with my life. But here's the thing. A person without guidance, their life doesn't go up. It goes down. So I kept going down until I hit rock bottom. And then when I was ready, it again came back to me. And this time when I opened the book and I read it, each and every verse, each and every chapter made sense because I had gone through the suffering. And then when I got the answer, it linked. It made complete sense. And that's why I have another saying for you. Only when the student is ready, the answer appears. Or only when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So that's the thing. If you have suffered enough in your life and you don't know the way out, I'm telling you, go to your holy book. That will give you all the answers you need. Start there and watch how your entire mindset changes. You start reading the scriptures, you get a clear understanding of how do I gain mastery, how do I gain control of my mind and my body and my soul. And once you do that, you have control over everything else. You master yourself and everything else will fall in place. Try it out, implement the things I said in today's video and watch how your life completely changes.